Okay, we are now live. Just adjusting some settings on here. Like that one. Hang on. That one? No.
Got it. Hi.
You can't really see us both.
No, let's put it here. We'll do that one.
There we go.
We're live
That's
on Facebook
way
as
better.
well.
Yep, we are live everywhere right now. Okay, if you're coming in, let us know where you're coming in from. Today, if I sound a little bit weird, it's because I've got my Invisalign in. And here's a thing, so I actually put this on Instagram a few days ago. Actually, maybe last week. Quarantine just kind of blends everything together. But I was talking about one of my biggest weaknesses is not being naturally a finisher. In a sense of, I love the beginning process of things. I get really excited by it. But towards the very end, like really finishing things or getting things completed, like going through the details, I don't love. And so for me, that when I did my Invisalign, so I had it for 9 months, and the last month I just stopped wearing it. It gets so painful towards the end. And I was like, okay, I've done 8 months or whatever. I'm good. I don't want to keep going. And I put this on Instagram and I had so many of you respond saying, oh my God, I am the exact same way. How did you find out? So I actually found out about mine when I was in university. I was in second year and we were doing a group project, and the lecturer was actually putting us all into groups based on our personality types. And so she had us do a personality test. And I found that my personality type was, I'm very, very creative and good in the beginning. Like, I can create anything from scratch, but I don't love finishing them. And so they put me in a group with people that were really good at the middle and the end. And I just think it's so interesting because so many, and this is that she's doing Invisalign right now. Oh, it's painful. But so many entrepreneurs and creatives are the exact same way. And you can't use this as an excuse, right? So like, I had to train myself way back then to get really, really good at finishing things. So say when I would write out a big long university project, right, which is kind of the same as me writing a sales page now, I'd say it was going to be 10,000 words. I'd get to 7,000 words and I'd be like, oh, do I really have to keep going? But once I pushed myself to get to that 10,000, I'd be like, okay, I'm finally done. But I realized I had to go back and reread it all. And so I had to really push. And just having the awareness of being that kind of person that needs that extra push was really, really important for me. So whilst I'd be like crushing it at 5,000 words, some of my friends who were starters would not even be one word in. And so I like would really help them to get over the fact that they're not starters. And not our personality types are never an excuse. It's always just the awareness. So let me know, are you the same way? I'm already seeing quite a lot of people saying, oh my God, me too.
I want to add in there as well, because I think you just touched on something really important. Was like you would help people who were maybe struggling to get started, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that also brings us to the second point around that. Is like when you're really aware of like your personality types, not only can you decide like how you can actually conquer them and be like, okay, how can I lean into this a little bit more or find a way around it, but you can also find people on your teams that are good at the opposite thing to you. So I think one reason like we work really well together is I'm a terrible starter. I like look at a blank piece of paper and I'm like, I have no idea what to write. Like I just don't even, like that initial phase just like always freaks me out. Whereas like I always say I'm like really good at when everyone else has given up, I can like dig my heels in. I'm like, no, I'm finishing this project. I'm getting it. And I think it's just like how you surround yourself with people as well.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And it's the same thing, right? Like one of my strengths is consistency. I find it like if I commit to doing something, I am going to do it consistently. So with Instagram way back when, my biggest secret to success with Instagram is consistency. I was showing up 4 times a day when people weren't willing to. And it was the same when we launched a podcast. Like I said to Danielle, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this properly and we're going to show up consistently. And it got a few weeks in and you were like, I don't want to keep doing this. Let's do it in seasons. And I really dug my heels in and I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not doing that. And I had the whole team against me saying, we shouldn't be doing this. Let's cut back. So I went and found some data to back up my point. And I was like, I know deep down, because of the success I have with Instagram, we need to stay consistent even when it's hard. And so that's an example of really being able to help each other. Like when you can really see your strength, you can then transfer that onto other people and help bring them along with you and stick to the things that you're really good at. So I just think it's really important. I think the test I did back then was Bowlby. Is that right? Bowlby. I think that's what it is. I'm just going to give it a quick Google so I'm not...
I love this. Alex is saying this is great motivation. I'd love to know, like, say, are you guys a Danielle or a Natalie? Are you like the starter or the finisher? Like, where are you sitting?
I love this. We're getting so many people in, just sharing that this is really, really helpful. And I mean, I think it's good that you get to see, we are not perfect, guys. Like, we all have strengths and weaknesses, like every other person out there. But it's just being aware of, I'm seeing a lot of starters. I think that's just a very creative entrepreneur thing.
Side.
Starter. Lost so many starters.
Loads of starters.
So many.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't have it all figured out. Everyone's a starter. I love it. Lots of creatives on here, but we just don't have everything figured out, right? We all have strengths and weaknesses, and we're always figuring out how we can know ourselves better, because the game of entrepreneurship is just a game of personal development. And the better you get at that, the stronger you'll be.
The more you understand yourself, the more you can understand like what your strengths are, but also what your blind spots are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just really, really important. And always seeing those like weaknesses as like a positive, in the sense of being able to know them and claim them, but like, yeah, I'm not very good at this, and then you're not having that continued stress of trying to be good at something that you're not naturally in flow with, and just being able to like, I mean, we've done on one of these slides before, we spoke about the wheel of life, and I really truly believe, and that's kind of like where you mark out of 10 where you are at various points in your life. So it might be finances, friendships, family, career, all the things. There's like 9 of them. But one of the things that I always look at and say, like, if you are not at a 10 on personal development, if you're not always investing in yourself and learning about yourself, it's very difficult to reach 10s in any of those other areas, because it really is the backbone to so much.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I love it. Well, so what we thought we would dive in with just quickly this morning was where you should focus your time as an entrepreneur, especially during a time like this. So if any of you were on my live training last Thursday, give me a yes. Tell me if you were on there. Tell me if you loved it. If you weren't, you can go to the link in any of our bios or captions and you can join. It's completely free. It was amazing. It's a 90-minute training. So basically, I talked about where you should focus your time as an entrepreneur. And I said that if you are below the 6-figure mark and you're trying to get to 6 figures, you should be focusing on 2020 vision. I put $ in front of 2020. So 2020 vision, imagine that emoji with the $ in the eyes, the $ in the tongue, like full $. Oh yay, so many of you were on there. It was amazing, Jasmine, love it. So yeah, I talked about 2020 vision, and what can be really easy to do as an entrepreneur who hasn't reached a 6-figure mark yet is to find all of these other fun things to do that are in fact not going to move the needle in your business. Setting up a website, getting consistent with your content, doing all of these things that are not going to bring in revenue. And I say this all the time, and I said it on the webinar, creating content consistently every single day does not mean customers are going to flock to you. I did a lot of myth busting, but a lot of people think I just need a photo shoot, a fancy website, some good consistent content, and I'm going to be winning. And it's not the case at all. And what you really, really need to be doing in this time is focusing on getting clients. Now, a client generating strategy is completely different to a content strategy, to a business building strategy. It's completely different because you are thinking about, okay, who is my ideal client? What offer am I going to make them that is going to serve them at the highest capacity? And how am I going to reach them with the offer? Those are the only things that you need to be thinking about. So I went into a lot more detail about this on the live, so if, on the training. So if you haven't been to it, go to it. But I think that's the biggest misconception. Do you agree? Like, there's lots of nice to haves that just aren't necessary when you haven't even reached 6 figures.
Yeah, exactly. It's about like focusing, and I think sometimes you end up being like, I always say a bit harshly, like a busy idiot, because you end up being busy doing so many different things, but then you actually forget the real needle moving things. And actually when you hone in on those and you repeatedly do them and you do it like consistency, you build that consistency, you're learning, you're growing it every single time, you're drilling down into that even further. That's when you get the results. I feel like a lot of people end up spreading themselves so thin, trying to do all these different things in all the wrong directions, whereas if you just kind of funnel that energy and channel it, you're so much more likely to achieve the results that you want to.
Yeah, and I remember listening to a podcast with the founder of Airbnb, and he said one thing that just stood out to me, and I've seen it repeatedly quoted in books and lots of places. And he said, in the beginning of your business, you need to do things that do not scale. And so what that means is getting hacky, getting hustly, taking opportunities, doing things that do not scale, doing things that don't have systems behind them, doing things that aren't automated. Because in the beginning phases of your business, you're very much in a let me put my feet in front of the other kind of phase. And if you try and skip that phase and go to, I have the most organized, systemized business out there, you'll have the most organized, systemized business out there, and you'll have no one to even look at your systems. And so really focusing on doing things that don't scale, and focus on getting clients in. And if that means over delivering, and your coaching program was 12 weeks and you give them 14 or 15 sessions, it's not scalable, but you do it because you need to get results. You do it because you are in that phase. And for people asking how you can see the training, just go to link in bio and it's there.
Yeah. And also that kind of brings us around to like the success framework that we always talk about to build your business, because we talk about finding your purpose, but then you don't even get to systems until you've really understood who your audience is, how you can speak to them, how you can get them to act on what you're talking about, and actually building revenue. Like that's why systems doesn't even come in until number 4, because you have to have started nailing these first 3 to actually it be worthwhile building systems. Because like you said, there's no point building systems around a business that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, and then even if you're like building systems that you think would be helpful, if you've got no clients running through it and you've not experienced managing tons of different clients, you will not even know what they need, and so you'll be building systems when you might not even know if they're right.
Yeah, because then you might have to pivot.
Exactly.
We'll have a pivot.
So we just wanted to share that with you, and we also want to share something really exciting. So we were getting asked a lot during the time that we are in, are we going to be opening up the society? And the answer is yes. So for anyone that doesn't know, the society is a membership of over 4,000 women, 4,000 entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, so women at each and every stage of entrepreneurship, before they've launched and after they've launched and as they're scaling. We built the society because it's something we wished we had in the beginning. You know, we were very lonely in business individually. We didn't know each other. We were out there. We had completely different businesses. I had a product e-com business. Danielle had a brick and mortar business. And we wanted to create a place where you could come together and meet people, get support, have resources so that you don't have to build your business from the school of Google. We brought together so many different thought leaders, and we're calling it the Netflix of female entrepreneurship. And so we've opened it. It's open. It's so affordable. It's $35 a month. So if anyone wants to join, just head to bossy.com/membership. All of the info that you need is there. Everything that you need to be able to sign up. It is absolutely incredible.
I think I'm just going to post it here as well. But I also just want to say while I'm doing this, let me just see if I can multitask. Let me just see if I can pin this. Can I pin it? Yeah, pin comment. I just want to say, so on that as well, we created it exactly because we were lonely and we wanted to create a community. But also what we wanted to do is we knew that people were kind of feeling like not really sure what their next step should be, and kind of just feeling a bit overwhelmed by, okay, well, I want this business and I want to move this forwards, but how do I even do that? And I don't want to have to buy 1 million courses to be able to do that. So we've got around 24 basically courses in there that you work through, and they're all done and they're all positioned in a framework. So you don't have to feel like, oh my goodness, where do I even start? It asks you questions at the beginning of each, what we call pillars, and it's based around 5 pillars. And it asks you a question at the beginning, so you know whether you start in that pillar or whether you move on. So we've really put so much time into thinking about you guys who are feeling a little bit overwhelmed and not really sure where to start, so that you can actually do the things that are going to get you the results. And one thing we talk about is it's not about consuming content, it's about doing the stuff that actually moves the needle.
Yeah. So we've opened it up. It's only going to be open this week. We will not be keeping it open. The society is a closed community, which means we spend all of our time in it supporting our members versus out there promoting it. So we keep it closed. We only open less than a handful of times a year. So it's only open this week. It's $35 a month. You can join annually if you want to join and get a ton of bonuses as well. But it's totally up to you. The option is there. So go check it out. It's bossy.com/membership. And if you have any questions at all, drop us a DM. We are on DMs all day long right now, just supporting you. So drop us a DM. and let us know what we can support you with. And hopefully I'm seeing some check your DMs. I will be checking my DMs. What day will it close? We think this weekend. It's probably going to close this weekend. So go check it out, drop us a DM with any questions, and then just to recap what we talked about at the beginning, think about how you are implementing 2020 vision in your business and how you are focused on getting clients and cutting the fat and doing the things that are actually going to get you to 6 figures and beyond. If you sent us a message over the weekend, we might not have got to them all. We're only a small duo. We are not answering every single DM over the weekend, so we'll do it during the week. That's a boundary, my friends. Yeah,
we have to let our team have some rest time as well. We are just a small team, so we need to make sure we look after them as well. Practice what we preach, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we are going to leave it there. Like I said, DM us if you need anything, and we will be back on Wednesday and then on Friday. So we're doing lives Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m.
Thanks.